Let me first tell you about what groups in America get discriminated against the most in these past few years. Nearly 7 out of 10 adults in the US have experienced some form of discrimination, if it's being treated with less respect, receiving poor service, or sometimes even being harassed. Most subgroups are discriminated each day, including certain races, genders, even people with disabilities. Almost 50% of adults in the US face some form of discrimination, ranging from unfairly police stoppage to a teacher telling a kid to no longer follow their education. In these past few years, 39% of black men, compared to 19% of black men, have said that they have been unfairly stopped by police and unfairly questioned and even harassed. 74% of Hispanics and 72% of Asians have reported that they get treated as if they're uneducated and receive really poor service, unlike others. And as one subgroup, the LGBTQ, has gone through these types of discrimination as well. 23% of the community states that they have been unfairly treated by law enforcement and have also received poor treatment by others. Many of these subgroups have been targeted by America, and you would think it would affect them somehow, some way. Almost every race, gender, etc. go through all this on a daily basis. How does this affect the mental health? Now that I talked about the subgroups, let's get into the effects this has on a person. Um, stress levels, stress levels of a person going through discrimination have been horrible. Haven't been horrible, but haven't been great either. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being no stress at all, and 10 being a great deal of stress, Hispanic people surveyed that they averaged a stress level of 6.1. It's not bad, but it ain't good either. African Americans have reported their stress levels have gone through a 5.5. For Caucasians, a 5.4. So it's a fair amount of stress that gets put on them because of discrimination. But the Hispanics and the African Americans state that in order for them to not deal with the stress and the harassment, they need to change their appearance in order for them to not get discriminated. They need to fit in with society. Um, the subgroup that actually gets the most stress is the LGBTQ. Their stress levels go up to 6.4, which is again isn't horrible, but it's pretty bad. Some adults from the community have stated that they don't really pay much attention to the discrimination to the point because they're just used to it already, so they don't really pay attention. Um, but most of the majority of the discrimination, the people who do get discriminated, most of them have dealt with it pretty well. Um, they have certain solutions to help them when going through this, and this and now we're gonna move on from the solutions that can help them with dealing with discrimination. One can be, obviously, is having a good support system around you. It's always good to have someone there to support you. Um, you never want to be alone when you go through things like this. It's it's always good just to have someone by your side. Um, Another one is just try to check yourself right before uh, you go through these types of things. Discrimination can cause a lot of emotional problems. It can lead to anger, sadness, even embarrassment, which is a cause of high blood pressure, high heart rate, and your body temperature can increase. So try to check yourself. Breathe slowly. Do some exercises if you can, just to help you calm down. Another one is try not to dwell on it much. Although it can be hard. and it could be tough just to shake it off. It's easier said than done. In these type of situations, always try to speak up. Don't ever let yourself um, be discriminated. Try to speak up. Try to say something. Most people are afraid because they're afraid they're gonna get some backlash. But I'll just always try to speak up to a bully. In conclusion, let's review some of the things I've said about my speech.